to another video of the HTML and CSS web development course. So, in the last video, we talked about shadows and a little bit about borders, and we added some really nice shadows to our boxes and some shadows to our text. And in this video, we're going to talk about a key component of each website, and that is a button. So, for example, when you go to the Devscorch website, you see a lot of buttons. Some do some pop-up things. This button. These are also, these then are hrefs, but the register button. All those buttons have a function, right? And they look really nice. Like this one, check out our courses. At this moment, there's nothing in here. And this is a little bit what we're going to do today. We're going to do in this video. We're going to create some buttons. We're going to talk about the radius of the buttons, the forms, the background, and so on. So, what we're going to do, we go inside our inside our boxes. So we're going to use the gradient boxes. Go in there, open up a little bit of space. We're going to open up the button statement. We're going to call a class, and we're going to call this gradient button. And we're going to close it up. And we're going to give this a value of click here. So when we save this, if we go to the website, it doesn't look really nice, right? It looks terrible. This doesn't look nice. This is not good user experience. So what we're going to do, we're going to enhance it. We go to our, oh, that's the wrong CSS file, that's from my website. So we go to our index.css. We're going to do a dot. And we're going to call the gradient button. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna give this a really nice gradient, right? And we're gonna give it the same gradient as the gradient 2. So we're gonna copy this one, paste it in our gradient button. We're gonna save this and let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see, the button now has a gradient color. And we're going to change the turn, the degrees, we're going to change to 0.25. So, then we're going to give this a really nice, we're going to give this a height of 30 pixels. We're going to give this a width of 60 pixels. Going to save this as well. And we go back. Now, that doesn't look right. We're going to give this a width of 120 pixels. Let's see what happens. That looks better. So as you can see, I zoomed in a little bit, the button still doesn't look really nice, right? It just doesn't look nice. So we're gonna call border. We're gonna give this a border or a 0 or value of none. Gonna save this, go back. Okay, so we got rid of the border, right? So this looks this looks a lot nicer already. So something else which you can do where you want to change your the form, you can call the border radius. So in this case, we're going to call border, we're going to call radius, and let's say we're going to give this a radius of 20 pixels. Save this, we go back. Now we have like really nice rounded button. This looks really amazing. I really like this button. Maybe we can give this a little bit more pixels so that it looks a little bit more rounded. This looks nice. So, in the second gradient, or in the second gradient class, that is this box, we're also going to create a button. And we're going to call this button class gradient button 2. Okay, and we're going to also give this the value of click here. So as you can see, we have our button in a gradient container, right? So we have to do a little bit playing with colors so it looks a little bit better. So we're going to call gradient dash button dash 2, and let's say we're going to give this a background of white. I'm going to save those both. We go back here. Let's see what happens. Okay, that looks already a little bit better, right? Because we don't have the same color there. So we're gonna give this a height of 60 pixels because we really want a really big button this time. We're gonna give this a width of 240 pixels. We're gonna give this a border of none. And we're gonna give this a border radius of 15 pixels. I'm gonna save both. We go back. So. And we're gonna give this a little bit of margin on the top, right? Because this doesn't look really nice. Margin desktop of 30 px, so it doesn't really. And we're gonna give this a little bit of margin on the left. No, you know what? We're gonna give this a display of block. And if I'm not mistaken, okay, that doesn't work. Wait a second. Now we're gonna give this a margin dash right of auto. And we're gonna give this a margin dash left of auto. Gonna save this. Okay, probably this has to be block. Okay, now it's like really nice and centered. And the margin top should work. I don't know why it isn't working. Maybe if we change this to padding. Let's see what happens. Nope. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So we'll keep it like this for now. So as you can see, we use some stuff we learned in the past. So we learned about margin, display, margin right and margin left. And we took away now because we took away the border, and we gave it a border radius of 15. So now instead of 20 is really nice and rounded. 15 has like rounded corners, but still looks a little bit different. And let's give this a shadow. Oh. And in this case, we're going to give it a box shadow. We're going to give the box shadow of 1px, and we're going to give it dark gray or dark blue. Let's see what happens. Okay, as you can see now, the button is floating a little bit because we gave it a really nice shadow. That looks nice. And we're going to create a third button of glass. And what shall we do here? We call this gradient button 3. Okay, I'm gonna close it up. I'm gonna call click here. Okay. So we're gonna call dot gradient button 3. Open it. And we're gonna copy the background from. Okay, I see we don't have those colors. Okay, we're gonna do something else. So I'm gonna call background. I'm gonna call linear gradient. And we're gonna give it a 0.25 turn. And we're gonna give it a nice blue. And then, blue and a nice white. I'm gonna save this. Go back here. As you can see, it doesn't look really nice now. So we're gonna give it a height of 70 pixels. We're gonna give it a width of 300 pixels. We're gonna give it a border of 1px in this case. We're gonna give the border style, and in this case we're gonna call dotted. And we're gonna give it a border color of dark orange. Okay, we're gonna save this. We're gonna save the HTML. Let's see how this looks. As you can see, the button is now blue to white. It looks really nice actually, and we gave it a dotted border. This looks pretty cool. And let's say we're gonna give this a border radius of 10 pixels. Save it. Go back. As you can see now, we made 3 different buttons, right? We made one with a perfect rounded corner. We made some rounded corners, so it is still a little bit eggy. And in this case, we made like a really nice border on it, and also the border radius is, how much was it? Is 10 pixels? Yeah, 10 pixels, so we don't have like a fully rounded corner. And buttons are like really important. When we look at the button we have on the Devscorch website, the course button, for example, there's a border radius of 20, font size of 12. This is also something we can change. So let's say the font size of the second button, right? That's the second gradient button. We're gonna give this a font size of 30 px. Save this, go back. So now as you can see, it's really big, right? And we can do the same here as well. So we're gonna call font dash size. We're gonna give this 30 px. Click here, and we can also give this a color. So we're gonna give this a color, and we're gonna give this a color of white. Go back, and now you have a really nice button, and the text also has a different color. So buttons are also not really difficult. You can do almost everything with a button. You can give them functions, you can use them to navigate, you can change the colors, you can change the borders, you can let them float in the middle, you can let them stay on the left, on the right. You can do everything with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was not a really long video because buttons are not that hard. It's really easy. If you think like, hey, I really don't understand anything, make sure to join our Discord server. I'm always there to help you, and my moderators as well. So if you don't understand anything, always ask, and I hope to see you in the next video.